Hey guys, this is Dave with Moneyology.com. Today is Sunday, July 30th. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. We're going to do a precious metals video review with a review of gold, silver, platinum, and some of the ratio charts between the various different sectors, various different charts within the sector, followed by some picks of some of our favorite names that are breaking out or those that are in the middle of very, very nice uptrends. So let's take a look at what we've got in precious metals. Before we go into any of these, I just want to point out a couple things. Firstly, this is a sector that we've been very bullish on from a longer term perspective over the last several years, and now it's finally starting to break out. It broke out in 2016. It's had multi-month, basically over a year correction, and we think that correction is finally ended. We'll show you a couple reasons as to why, and if you're bullish like us on the sector, this is an area that you want to start adding or initiating positions in stocks in the sector, because there are going to be some multi-100% gains if our thesis comes to fruition. Finally, just make sure that you do your due diligence in all of these companies and all of these sectors and indices. This is education and entertainment purposes only. Good luck on your investing. So this particular chart is of gold. Gold has, as we pointed out, started its bounce since 2016 out of this nasty correction that really started in 2011, and we finally broke out, had this nice run, finally broke out of this downtrend in June of 16, and had hit a high of 1377.50, and since then we've been in this bullish wedge pattern. But frankly, if you got into the sector around these prices, having missed this rally where a lot of the junior miners have had multi-100% gains, you were in a world of pain. This is why you have to be nimble around your trading, have a core position and then have trading positions. And a lot of folks thought that we broke down, that this uptrend was just a fake breakout, and we broke below this downtrend again, and established an uptrend basically. And we've been in this triangular pattern where we've been up above and down below this particular major downtrend since 2014, and finally, just this week, last week, this triangular pattern finally resolved to the upside, and that's a very, 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 very bullish development. It's hard to really say how bullish this is, but with a break above 1300, we think that this is going to make a run to potentially all-time highs, but certainly towards a test of the 1400 area, the 1377, and ultimately a run much higher to 1900. So stay tuned. But bottom line, you look at the RSI, if you draw this trend line over here, RSI is breaking out, and price will follow, and we think that this is going to make multi-year highs in the coming months and years ahead. So gold is one of the hottest sectors that you want to be invested in if you are a trend follower. Next on the list is the Gold Bucks Index, the HUI. Like gold, it's been in this bullish wedge pattern correction since 2016. Finally, we think we're seeing some signs of rebound, and you see the MACDs have finally started to cross zero. Stochastics here are looking really strong, about to head towards the 50, and with the RSI closing above 50 on the weekly chart, though, it's a very bullish development. Once this particular, that's a little bit better. But once 200 on HUI is triggered to the upside, we think that this is going to make a run with a first target of around 250. So and ultimately 300 before some significant consolidation. But major upside ahead. Gold Bugs Index looks very nice here. Next on the list is the GDX, the junior gold miners. Another one we pointed out a while ago that it was starting to show a lot of strength, both in absolute terms and as well as in relative terms to the majors. Broke out of this downtrend in February of this year, and now we've consolidated after retesting multiple points successfully from the upside, and now it's consolidating. Once 35 is broken to the upside, that's going to be a substantial move that's going to find prices headed towards the 45 zone. We're right below 50 on the RSI, and some have pointed out that the miners have acted a little weak with this recent gold rebound, and frankly they would be right, but there's going to be some substantial upside in the coming weeks and months ahead as this sector finds some solid footing. Let's take a look at platinum. Platinum is the metal that's historically traded at around $300 premium to gold, and it's really $300 lower than gold at this point. And this downtrend, we believe, has finally ended. And we're fairly confident, despite multiple attempts at this over the years, but certain factors. You look at the money flow. This is the first time in several years that we're in the green zone. The MACDs are starting to cross zero here, and RSI has already broken this downtrend. If you look at, just draw a line like this, RSI has broken above that, and when we cross 50, and it hasn't happened yet, but when we do, we think that this is going to make a run towards 1,000, ultimately 1050, and in the couple of months thereafter, this run could take this towards 1,200. So platinum really has been beaten down, bloodied, bruised, but there's yet life and yet light at the end of the tunnel for platinum. GDX versus gold. So you want to, in a bull trend, you want to see gold miners outperforming gold index, and we started seeing some positive divergence. So here's what we've been looking at. You look at a downtrend in price, but during the same period, RSI has been building a solid base and frankly building momentum to the upside. That suggests that this is indeed a bullish corrective pattern above this major support line, and we think that we're right below that 50 on the RSI on the weekly level. MACDs are curling above zero. You look at the money flow index, the castics. A lot of signs point that this is going to break to the upside. We don't know. We can't. We don't even try to time this on a day-to-day basis. That's for other traders who choose to trade on a more shorter time frame. But what we like to do is identify long-term patterns and trade and invest within those patterns. And what we've identified here is a very positive breakout opportunity in the coming weeks ahead. Silver versus gold. Likewise, we want to see silver outperform gold in periods of positive precious metals metal trends, and silver has been weak, one of the weakest metals over the last couple of years. But here again, we're starting to see some nice bullish flagging pattern, and we're finding some strength. We haven't seen it yet on the MACDs, but we're starting to see some of this breakout on the RSI, and we think that in the coming weeks and months and years ahead, silver is definitely the sector that you want to own if you're bullish in precious metals, because it's going to have massive upside relative to gold. Here's the actual silver contract. Notice here again, RSI has broken out above this uptrend. Price has not yet broken out, but we think that once 18 is broken to the upside, this is going to look, it is not going to turn back. And we think we're literally in the first inning, probably not even there in a major silver upside. But you look at down the road, I mean, we're talking 28, 32. And 36 are levels where you're going to see a lot of run to the upside here. Silver junior miners, SILJ. Like I said, if you're bullish on this on the sector, you want to own silver miners even better than gold miners because of how badly they've been hit. And what I'm seeing here in silver miners is a strong uptrend developing. Silver miners, frankly, have outperformed gold miners in the last couple of years, and there's significant upside should this particular sector break out. So our first upside or trigger target on a long-term up move is 14 here on the silver juniors. We think that this is headed towards a retest of the highs of last year at around 20. So stay tuned. Right below the 50 on the weekly RSI, you definitely want to see that break, and when it does, a major move is likely in the cards. So stay tuned there. Another chart you want to be cognizant of is the USD versus the yen, the dollar versus the yen. Typically, when the dollar is weak relative to the yen, or conversely, when the yen is strong relative to the dollar, that's a sign that the metals are going to be in an uptrend. And we're definitely seeing a lot of weakness here in the dollar in absolute terms, and this is something we've been very keen on calling for the last year and a half, when a lot of folks were very bullish on the dollar, and we are bullish on the dollar in the long term. But in the next, well, looking back a year to today, we thought that there was a lot of significant downside the charts were showing, but the dollar to the yen is breaking down, and we think that this is ultimately going to break down below 107 and make a retest towards the 100 level. When that happens, that's when precious metals are going to fly. Look at the MACDs; they're now curling. They failed to break out above 0, and that's very, very bearish. And stochastics are starting to roll over. And so, whereas the dollar might actually rally relative to the euro in the coming weeks and months ahead, relative to the yen, and that's what is important for precious metals, it looks very weak. So, onto some of the names, the hottest names in the sector. Some of these we own, others we don't. We don't really want to talk about the names we own, but certainly if we had enough money to buy a lot of these would be high on the list. Ivanhoe, IVN. What can you say about this chart? Beautiful basing pattern that it developed for several years, and it's finally broke out above this particular neckline here around 150, and since then it hasn't looked back. Now it's based for a little bit of time above that $4, and if you had an opportunity to buy, kudos to you. Then the long-term trigger target, if you don't own this, is 550. I mean, this is going to head to double digits. It's a question of when, not if, and it's one of the best managed and best run companies in the sector. So kudos to management and kudos to anyone who's owned this, and good luck. I think there's a lot of upside in Ivanhoe. London Mining, another one of those managed by a tremendous team with great experience and great resume. Look at this. We called this a couple weeks ago. Finally broke out, trigger buy above that 650 area, and well, you don't even know where this is going because it's at all-time highs, this particular company. So so many good indicators on this particular stock. We frankly think you could buy it and close your eyes and look back in 5 years and see multi-100% gains. So definitely one you want to own or have on your radar. Royal Gold, RGLD. One of the largest names in the sector. We had this. We just wanted to take a look at one of those stocks that lead the GDX, and this is one that is showing significant strength. So our first target here is 95, but ultimately this is going to triple digits in the coming months ahead. Goldfields GFI, another one that's shown significant strength. It's finally breaking up above $4, and that's our trigger point to buy on this particular one. So great opportunity to get in. The first price target is 5. The next price target here is at 650 area, so some tremendous upside ahead for Goldfields. Anglo American, this is the largest, one of the largest platinum producers in the world. And as I pointed out, it's broken out of this downtrend, and we called this over here as a great buying opportunity, and boom, look at this 15% up move in platinum, one of the platinum names. And if platinum runs, I mean, this is going to hit double digits and frankly triple digits if platinum were ever to get to their all-time highs, 1900, 2000. So I can't speak enough about this particular company's upside. When I say triple digits, we're talking 1,000% plus returns, and it might take a couple of years, but I think it's going to get there. It has the asset base to be able to actually have the cash flow to meet that valuation. Next on the list is Northern Dynasty, one of the most polarizing companies in the sector. We like this one. We actually do own it. For full disclosure, it looks to us like it's a double bottom here around the 106, 120 area. It's finding strength. The MACDs are starting to curl higher. Stochastics are starting to curl. For anyone who doesn't own this, we think that 150 and a break above this 200 EMA at 159 would certainly be the trigger for a major run. The first major price target would be 350. 50 on the weekly RSI. Once that's broken, that's going to obviously trigger that run. We think that this is going to see double 100% returns in the coming years ahead. We definitely like the name. We like the story. Do your due diligence and come back to us in a couple of years and tell us whether we were right or wrong on this one. McEwing Mining, another one that's great management team. It's given us a huge opportunity over the last couple of years with this pullback here, but right above 250. It's built a solid base, and we think that this is going to run at a minimum to retest these highs at $5 a share, but ultimately double digits in the future on this miner. Look at the MACDs crossing zero, stochastic starting to curl. Guys, this sector is really, I can't say enough. It's gonna run. First Mining Finance, another one of those well-managed companies. Look at the MACDs. The MACDs are starting to cross zero. Our trigger point is 55 cents on this particular one. Once this breaks above 55, the next real major resistance is 85, so significant upside ahead. Stochastics are already above 50, and we really like this name. Next on the list is Exelon Resources. Beautiful breakout of this downtrend here last couple of weeks. 10% up move since we called out this particular name on our last video, precious metals video. MACDs are firmly above zero, and while we often notice that once you break out from this downtrend, there's a very possible multi-week consolidation where you could possibly retest this to the downside, but we would love it. Add another opportunity to buy or initiate a position here on this particular name. Once 150 is triggered to the upside, the next logical point of resistance is around the 185 area, and follow that by $3 a share. So great upside for Exelon. LODE, Comstock Mining. Wow, this is one that's been one of our favorites just from a charting standpoint. Once 25 is triggered, and it's going to happen in the coming weeks ahead, this is going to run significantly. Our first price target is 50 cents, so that's, could have a 100% move in a week or two, just based on technicals. But ultimately, I know what these guys are doing right, but kudos to those who own this and management who's behind this move here. Next on the list is Southern Silver, SSVFF. Another one of these over-the-counters. And the reason why you find a lot of these over-the-counters that have performed better than those in the major index, the GDXJ, is because they haven't been affected by a lot of these rebalances and institutions getting in and out. These are largely fundamental plays, and you're seeing this here where a lot of there's been a tremendous upside here. Another one of those moves where you had this cone-shaped basing pattern for many years, followed by this base. It's a cup and handle, and once this breaks the upside above 50 cents, there's no telling how much higher it can run. Trilogy Metals, TMQ. We called this a couple of weeks ago. We said once this breaks 75, watch out. And sure enough, it's run 25% recently. It's found some resistance at the 125 area. No surprise there. But we would love to see some consolidation. Look at the volume. This thing has got much higher to go. And good. Congrats to anyone who's rode this wave with us. One that we're very high on and we own a significant portion of is gold mining, GLDLF. Look at this break of the uptrend here, of the downtrend since 250. It's finally broken up above, we called it here, once it broke above 50 on the weekly RSI, that's the sign that a major run is coming. Look at the move on the volume. Volume is starting to pick up substantially, so there's going to be some very, very nice moves in the not too distant future. And just on a fundamental basis, we love this company. We think double digits are in its future, but in the short run, 250 we think is more than reasonable. MACDs are above zero here, so stochastics are firm. Money flow is finally over a year starting to cross above zero, so good luck, and this is going to be a really, really nice name to own. Great Panther Silver, another one that we've been very high on for several years, and it's had some very nice parabolic moves. Now we've got a cup and handle here above that $1 zone. Cup and handle breakout, retest. Now we're consolidating above this retest zone here between 120 and 130. Once this breaks, 220 is the first logical area to look at, but there's just tremendous upside here. So one you definitely want to own if you're bullish on silver as we are. And next and last on this list is International Tower Hill Mines, THM. This is broken out from this downtrend and it's consolidated, which has given us an opportunity to add to the position above 50 cents. This looks really good. First target is 75 cents. We think that this is ultimately going to make a run towards 140. And look at this. It's about to cross 50 on the weekly RSI. So some significant upside in the coming weeks ahead for International Tower Hill Mines. Guys, thank you very much for following along with this video. Good luck on your investments. Please do follow us on StockTwits @Moneyology and Twitter @Moneyology. Please leave your feedback and comments on the YouTube page. Send us any private messages for stocks in the sector that you wish for us to look at, and we'll definitely do our best. Thanks again, and have a great week ahead.